Hello everyone, my name is Yipu Wang. Today my presentation is about a Sarah Jones test show on 2009. It's called a one-woman global village. The reason why I call this talk a show instead of a lecture, because as a lecture it is full of entertainment and with a lot of acting and performances. So actually if you watch it, you definitely would enjoy it. Sarah Jones, an African-American lady imitating several fictional characters all from all over the world using their own accents in her speech. As a Chinese, I can say that her fake Chinese English is definitely very familiar to me, just like those we heard in our home country. And she starts her speech with British accent, or received pronunciation, RP you may say. And then when she changed her accent to American accent, which she usually speaks, she told a small joke. She said, the reason why I speak Queen's English is actually because I'm from Queens, New York. Everybody get it? The first character she performs is a Jewish old lady. I think the reason why I can tell is that she pronounced every S into sh. Maybe that's because she speaks Yiddish. Is that correct? I don't know. As a conservative stereotype, she kind of just like old people, normal old people, they can't follow what the teenagers, young people, punk hipsters say, and she and her political opinions is also kind of old-fashioned. She can understand environmental degradation, crashing economic, hating bankers in Wall Street. But actually, she is glad that that everyone, at least someone, is trying to accept these new ideas and trying to solve these new problems. So she's kind of open-minded as well. Second character is a Dominican lady. She speaks really fast, and she starts his talk as a acronym. Acronym, do you know acronym? TED is an acronym. It's short. It's TED. Actually, she mentioned acronym. She is working for the bomb. I can write it down. This doesn't mean anything related to terrorism. It's called Dominican American Benevolence Organization of Mothers and Babies, and she kind of interesting name, right? And she is very working hard. She just got promoted to associate director under senior vice president for business development. Also very fun name. And at the end of her speech, she mentioned that TED maybe actually can mean technology, entertainment, and Dominicans. Third character is an Indian lady, because she pronounced every R into L, every T into D, and every TH into T. Actually, that's my conclusion. I don't know if that is correct, because we have a master here in English classes, kind of show off. She told us a very interesting example that she works in DC, Washington DC, and sometimes she met a lot of politicians, and every time she met a politician, they kept telling her that how often they eat curry in Georgetown to relieve her, to make her feel comfortable. Actually, that happens to us every day. I mean, every time I talk to an American, when they ask where from, I'm from China, and they say, oh, I love Chinese food. Every time happens. And the fourth one is a Chinese lady. It is very easy to tell because she pronounced she pronounced the last consent of every word very loud. So actually, she had to pause after every word, just like we do. We say, yes, a, great, opportunity is something like that. And she, her speech is something to do with the culture shock. She moved to United States with her husband in 1980s. And then she had a son and daughter. And her son fell in love with an American lady, which her mother a little bit upset because she preferred a Chinese lady. But what's more, her daughter is turned out to be actually a lesbian, and she fell in love with a Chinese lady, which she hopes that this word can come from his sons, right? Exactly. At first, she doesn't know what to do, and then she understands and accept these decisions from her child, her children, because actually we're in the United States, we have those kind of freedom. The last one of the character, fictional character, is a Middle East lady. I can't tell, I can't specify the features of maybe Middle Eastern English accent, but it's very unique. Every time they said, I can tell. She cited an Arabic poem which spread over the world. In her lecture, she mentioned her French teacher, a German teacher. French accent is kind of interesting. They don't pronounce H at the head of the word, like Yamas. They don't pronounce H, and they pronounce EN as on. They pronounce AN as on, and they pronounce IN as an. That's my idea. And she also mentioned a German teacher. Actually, for my opinion, usually Germans speak very good English because maybe German is very close to English. But actually, some German, they say welcome instead of welcome. They pronounce every W into V, and they say, and just like the Yiddish, the Jewish lady, they say sh a lot instead of s. I think German and Yiddish are very similar because Yiddish kind of a German-Jewish language. The reason why I picked this lecture is actually because I'm very interested in languages and accents. For example, British accent, APA, RP is my favorite, but actually even in Britain there are lots of accents. For example, RP we are very familiar with, but actually theoretically just a small town, a small population near Oxford town, they actually born to speak RP. Everybody else just to learn it, just like former Prime Minister Brown. He's actually Scottish, but in public he speaks RP, but in private he speaks Scottish. And maybe just in London, few people speak RP, but actually in East London, where a lot of workers, they speak Cockney, a kind of different accent. And in northern area, like Newcastle and Leeds, they speak Geordic, which is much more different than RP. They pronounce every up into O, like I love you, something like that. And in Liverpool, there is my favorite soccer team, Liverpool FC. The people in Liverpool, they speak very unique accent called Scouse, and they call them Scouser. Most difficult accent I've ever met. Every time I watched an interview with Liverpool players, killing me. I just can't understand. And there are also Scottish accent and Irish accent. Irish accent is a bit like American because they use R a lot. And last year I was studying in Australia. Aussie English is kind of interesting as well. They say "hoi, mate." Actually, it means "hi, mate." And every time the most familiar greetings that I heard is "g'day," that means good day. "G'day, mate. How are you today?" How are you today? Very funny, Aussie English. And I'm also very interested in language because I'm a soccer fan. I watch soccer games a lot. Actually, soccer is a very international sport with a lot of country has their own famous famous players using their own language. So actually, for example, sometimes it is really hard to say a person's name correctly. For example, in Inter Milan, famous Italian football club, there are two players. One is he's from Argentina, so we pronounce his name Julio. But actually, there is a goalkeeper also from Inter Milan. They are teammates. He's Brazilian. He speaks Portuguese, so we say his name Julio, right? Ariano. Julio Cesar. Actually, they are the same word, but because they speak different languages, it is totally different. There are certain examples as well. If you are familiar with Spain, you are a Barcelona fan, right? In Spanish, they replace B and B usually. So there is a famous football club, Valencia FC. We say Valencia, not Valencia. But actually there are exceptions. If you are from the Basque area of Spain, like there is a legendary goalkeeper from Spain called VID00006. In Basque area of Spain, they don't replace V and B. So his name is Subi Sareta, actually. And we may say that some kind of foreign language is complicated, but actually, usually, sometimes we don't say English name correctly. For example, a coach, former Tottenham football club coach, he's called Harry Redknapp. The K is silent. Sometimes people, especially Chinese, they say his name is Redknapp. That's wrong. It's Redknapp. Actually, there are more famous example. For example, Beckham. In China, everyone knows David Beckham. We say his name Beikehan. Actually, that is wrong. The H is silent. So Hong Kongese is better. They say Beikehanmu. They say Beiham. Actually, that is better because actually that is not better. It is not better. The K you should pronounce. The H is silent. There are a lot of examples. I don't want to waste your time. Actually, I talk a lot about this. In the test show, there is not much information because it is like a show, just a lot of entertainment. But actually, there's the whole point is that we live in a world with great diversity. All kinds of countries, all kinds of people, they speak all kinds of languages, and even they speak English, they have their own accents. Sometimes this might cause big problem. For example, I can speak another example of soccer game. There's a country called Belgium. Usually in last 1960s, they are very great, but actually these years they are kind of go a little bit down, because actually in Belgium there are three major languages. There are Flemish, actually Belgian Dutch, French and German. And players from different backgrounds, they don't usually talk to each other because they just know their own language, or they can know one or two, but they can understand everyone saying. So actually, as a team, they are not very working together. So usually they can't get very good results in great games. So actually, when we're facing these kind of problems, it is a good idea that we have to solve this problem. We have to understand, we have to learn their culture and learn their language and learn their accent. But people may say, foreign language is complicated. We can't learn all languages. So there's, at least we can learn English. If we learn English better, I mean everyone learn English better, we can communicate with less bounds. Okay, that's my
Thank you. Thank you everyone who presented today. It's going to take a little while for us to get through these, so sorry about